Hello everyone, welcome back to another great lesson with us here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going out to eat.
Yes, good thing too, because I'm hungry.
I know, it's almost lunchtime.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about eating at a restaurant and giving some great recommendations and suggestions.
Yes, we have language for describing food, for describing restaurants, and for making suggestions.
Great, so let's start with our vocabulary preview for this lesson.
Vocabulary preview.
We have 2 words today from our dialogue, which you'll need to know to understand the dialogue.
Great. The first one that we have today is food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning.
So food poisoning is
Not a good thing.
not a good thing.
It is when you eat some bad food and that food makes you sick. So
Yeah.
you get food poisoning.
Okay, so food poisoning, yeah, not a good thing.
Okay, the next word.
Allergic.
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 So when you're allergic to something,
It makes you sick. That one thing makes you sick.
right,
For example, I'm allergic to seafood.
right.
If I eat seafood, I cannot breathe.
Oh, okay, so you definitely want to stay away from fish.
Yes, yes.
Some people are allergic to nuts, like peanuts.
Or maybe milk.
milk.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when one type of food makes you sick, you are allergic to that food.
Okay, great. So with this in mind, now we can listen to our dialogue for the first time at its normal speed. But don't worry if you don't get everything now because...
We'll come back and teach you the important language.
Do you two have any plans for the evening?
We were thinking of checking out a restaurant in the neighborhood. Do you have any suggestions?
I know this really nice Italian place. The food is fantastic and the decor is beautiful. I'd recommend giving it a try.
Actually, I'm not all that crazy about Italian food. I'm in the mood for something a bit lighter.
In that case, I know a great little bistro. They make a really tasty seafood platter. The fish is outstanding.
It sounds fantastic, but I'm allergic to seafood, so...
Okay, well, let me think. Oh, I know this great little place. It's just a hole in the wall, but they do the most amazing sandwiches. You've got to give them a try.
Ella, you took me there last time I visited, and I got food poisoning, remember?
Well, I'm getting hungry just thinking about all of those great restaurants.
Yeah, some really good recommendations, except for food poisoning, right?
No, not so good.
Let's start with our language takeaway for this lesson.
Language takeaway.
Our first word on language takeaway is check out.
Check out.
Check out.
Check out.
So we have some great examples on how we can use check out in different situations, and then you can understand the meaning.
Example 1.
Have you been to the new cafe next door?
Yeah, I checked it out yesterday. The food was great.
Example 2.
Hey, check out my new car.
Example 3.
I'm going to check out that new shopping mall this weekend.
So I can understand that it just means look at.
Yeah, look at. Or go see. So let's go check out that new bar in town.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
cool. Next word is bistro.
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 So what's a bistro?
It's kind of complicated, but it's like a small restaurant that's not really cheap though.
Not so cheap, but not so expensive.
Uh-huh. And it's usually French.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah, small informal restaurant.
yeah, bistro. Mm-hmm. Okay. So our third phrase for today is not all that crazy about.
Not all that crazy about.
I'm not all that crazy about.
Okay, again, kind of a funny phrase, but we've got some examples that will help you understand the meaning.
Example 1.
Do you want to go shopping with me tomorrow?
I'm not all that crazy about shopping. I don't like spending money.
Example 2.
I'm not crazy about jazz music, Can I change the song?
So this is just a really polite way of saying you don't like something.
Exactly.
But now the opposite of this would be tasty.
Tasty.
That's our fourth word, tasty.
Tasty.
So when something is tasty,
It's good.
it's good.
Like delicious.
Delicious.
Yeah. You know what? In English, we almost never say the food is delicious, but we always say,
It's really tasty.
yes.
This is really tasty.
Yes. Okay.
Tasty. And our last phrase for language takeaway, in the mood for.
In the mood for.
In the mood for.
Let's listen to some examples of this phrase and we'll understand the meaning a little bit better.
Example 1.
We always eat hamburgers for dinner. I'm in the mood for something different.
Example 2.
Let's watch a movie. How about Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I am not in the mood for a horror movie.
So if I'm in the mood for something, I feel like doing or eating or
Watching. Yeah. It means you want to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for.
Okay. Some great language we just looked at, and I think it's time for us to listen to the dialogue a second time.
Do you two have any plans for the evening?
We were thinking of checking out a restaurant in the neighborhood. Do you have any suggestions?
I know this really nice Italian place. The food is fantastic and the decor is beautiful. I'd recommend giving it a try.
Actually, I'm not all that crazy about Italian food. I'm in the mood for something a bit lighter.
In that case, I know a great little bistro. They make a really tasty seafood platter. The fish is outstanding.
It sounds fantastic, but I'm allergic to seafood, so...
Okay, well, let me think. Oh, I know this great little place. It's just a hole in the wall, but they do the most amazing sandwiches. You've got to give them a try.
Ella, you took me there last time I visited, and I got food poisoning, remember?
Okay, some really great and useful phrases there, and I know you want to talk about specifically some of these phrases.
Yes, today's lesson is all about making recommendations, right?
Right.
So let's look at some useful phrases in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So in the dialogue, we heard a great way of asking for a suggestion.
That's right.
Let's listen.
Do you have any suggestions? Do you have any suggestions?
So that's how you would ask for a suggestion. Or you can say something else like, do you have any ideas?
Yeah, or you might say, do you have any thoughts?
Okay, so
3
that's
great ways.
asking for suggestions.
Yep.
In response to this, you can say something like this.
I'd recommend giving it a try. I'd recommend giving it a try.
We also heard another phrase that we use for giving suggestions.
You've got to give them a try. You've got to give them a try.
So these two phrases are great. I'd recommend or you gotta give them a try.
Yeah.
Great ways of suggesting.
Yes.
Now, what's really important here is the pronunciation of these words, right?
Yeah, you'll notice that we don't say, I would recommend.
Right. We use the contraction I'd.
I'd recommend.
I'd recommend.
Similarly, in the phrase, you have got to, we shorten that to say,
You gotta.
you gotta.
You gotta give them a try.
You gotta. You know what, guys? If you can shorten your phrases like this, if you can push the sounds together, you'll sound a lot more natural, hey?
And also you'll be able to understand because in movies or in shows, they will never say, you have got to give them a try.
Yeah.
So if you know how to use this form, you'll understand what they mean.
Exactly.
Okay, great.
Well, why don't we listen to the dialogue a third time and you'll hear some of these contractions in the dialogue.
Do you two have any plans for the evening?
We were thinking of checking out a restaurant in the neighborhood. Do you have any suggestions?
I know this really nice Italian place. The food is fantastic and the decor is beautiful. I'd recommend giving it a try.
Actually, I'm not all that crazy about Italian food. I'm in the mood for something a bit lighter.
In that case, I know a great little bistro. They make a really tasty seafood platter. The fish is outstanding.
It sounds fantastic, but I'm allergic to seafood, so...
Okay, well, let me think. Oh, I know this great little place. It's just a hole in the wall, but they do the most amazing sandwiches. You've got to give them a try.
Ella, you took me there last time I visited, and I got food poisoning, remember?
Hello, my name is Jenny. I am a student. I study English literature. This is my story. I want to tell you about my life in London. I also want to tell you about my fantastic teacher. You can read my story and learn English with me. Chapter 1. A meeting on the train. It is a beautiful summer day. I am traveling on a train. 2 women are on the train with me. They are sitting opposite me. They are speaking English. I do not understand much. I am studying English, but I am a beginner. I do not know many words. I started speaking to the women. I said some words in simple English. The women understood what I wanted to say. That made me happy. I told them that I want to learn English. The women told me they are from England. They are going home from a conference. Our conversation lasted for 10 minutes. The next station was my station. I said goodbye. The women gave me their address and phone number. They told me I can visit them in England. Then we said goodbye. After this meeting, I worked on my English every day. I translated texts and watched films in English. In 6 months, my English improved. It was good now, but I wanted to learn more. I went to London. I wanted to study English in London. In London, I joined a school. My first lesson was on Monday. I met my teacher and the other students in the class. My teacher was a young and beautiful woman. She was very nice and kind. We introduced ourselves, and then we started the lesson. Our teacher had a question for us. She wanted to know our general knowledge about the language. Our teacher told us she can teach us with a very effective method. This method was very simple. Our teacher told us we would not have to study hard. We would not have to read textbooks, but we would have to use English a lot in our daily lives. This method turned out to be very effective for me. I did not like studying from textbooks because they confused me. Then we talked about what is important when we learn a new language. Our teacher told us language is a tool for communication. We need languages to communicate. Languages help us express ideas and thoughts. So, when you learn a new language, the best method is to use the language to express your feelings and to communicate with other people. This is what we will do in our course. We will speak and use English a lot. Many students try to remember new words. They also study grammar rules. But these students don't use English for speaking. They study about the language, but they don't use the language. There is a difference. Of course, you need to learn new words and grammar, but you don't have to just study them. You need to practice them every day. In this course, I want to show you a very simple and effective method to learn vocabulary and grammar. I liked what our teacher said. Our lesson continued. We talked about our hobbies and what we like to do in our free time. We spoke in pairs or with our teacher. I enjoyed taking the class. I am really happy. This system of learning is very good and effective for me. Chapter 2. How I learned vocabulary. I went to school on Tuesday. One of the students asked an interesting question. She asked, "What is the best way to learn new words?" Our teacher said, "There are many things you can do. I will tell you the most effective way, based on statistics. It is reading. When people read, they learn new words in their language. They learn twice as fast as people who don't read. It is good to read for at least 30 minutes every day. I want to show you what to do to get the maximum benefit from reading. First, it is very important that the book or text is interesting for you. It is important that you enjoy reading it. The book can be a nice story, fiction, or non-fiction. Choose whatever interests you. Don't read a text that isn't interesting for you. If you don't know many words, you can get frustrated. You should always enjoy what you do while using the language. It is effective to choose a text that is interesting and also right for your level. When you read and see a word you don't understand, use a dictionary. Find the word in the dictionary. Look at its meaning. This will help you understand the text better. Your understanding will increase. You don't need to write the word down. The word will automatically stick in your brain. You will remember its meaning whenever you see it again. Every time you find a new word, do the same thing. Reading has another great advantage. When you read, you learn new words, and you also learn how each word connects to other words in the sentence. You can see how to link words correctly. This way of learning new words is very effective. Try it, and you will see how fast you can learn. Then we continued the lesson. We talked about the situation in England and the best jobs for students. This was good for me because I want to get a job. I want to do something in my free time after school. I asked other students if they knew where I could find a job. They told me to go to a job center. The job center offers many jobs, especially for students. This was good news. I was happy to know where to find a job. When school finished, I went to the job center. I didn't know what job I could do, so I asked the lady there, "What is the best job for a student?" The lady told me they have some good jobs. She said I could be a cleaner or a waitress in a cafe. I told her I have no experience. She said my English is good enough to work in a cafe. The training is not difficult. As a waitress, I would have more chances to speak English than as a cleaner. She told me I could start on Thursday. It was all good for me. I am happy to have a job where I can practice English. When you want to learn new words effectively, read for 30 minutes every day. Chapter 3. How to Improve Pronunciation. On Wednesday, I went to school again. There is a quiet student in our class from South Korea. When our teacher asked if we had any questions, he spoke up. He said he has a big problem with pronunciation. He knows his pronunciation is not good, but he doesn't know how to improve it. He doesn't speak much because he doesn't want others to hear his bad pronunciation. He reads and watches films in English a lot and understands well, but he also wants to improve his speaking. He asked for advice to get better at pronunciation. My teacher said, "Okay, I will tell you about pronunciation and how to practice it. I will also teach you techniques to help you all improve. First, we need to understand why students have problems with pronunciation. When we speak, we move our mouth. We use muscles in our mouth. We all do this. The problem is that when you speak English, you sometimes use your muscles the same way you use them in your native language. Then your pronunciation sounds different from native speakers. This happens to many students. Almost everyone's pronunciation is a little different than it should be. It is not a big problem because people usually understand you even if your pronunciation isn't perfect. However, you can work on it and make it better with a great technique. The name of this technique is shadowing. It is very simple. When you do shadowing, you simply copy the sound you hear. When children learn their first language, they learn by copying. They copy their parents again and again, and one day their pronunciation becomes perfect. You can learn English pronunciation the same way. Here's what you do. Find some videos or audio recordings that are not too fast and that you can understand well. Listen and copy what you hear immediately after you hear it. That's all. Then our teacher went to youtube.com and searched for shadowing technique. She found good videos that demonstrated it well. We watched a video and then we all tried shadowing for about 3 minutes. Our teacher added, shadowing is also good for preparing for a presentation in English. If you want good pronunciation before a presentation, go somewhere alone and do shadowing for about 10 minutes. You will see how much it helps. This was very interesting for me. I had never heard of this technique before. When the lesson finished, I went to the school reception. I asked the lady if there are any sports activities at school. I would like to do some sports in England. The lady said, yes, we have a table tennis team and a football team. The football team has training today at 5 p.m. I was very happy because sports are important in my life. I went to the football training. I met many players from different countries. The players were from Brazil, Japan, Russia, Spain, Argentina, and Italy. I liked the training. I was very happy that my time in England started well. I have a great teacher. I also have some new friends from my football team. Also, tomorrow I am starting my job. When you want to have good pronunciation, repeat after native speakers. Chapter 4. The Secret of Thinking Aloud on Thursday. I went to school again. We had a new student in our class. Her name is Elizabeth, and she is from Italy. At the beginning of the lesson, my teacher asked Elizabeth some questions. My teacher knows Elizabeth because Elizabeth visited her class 1 year ago. It was a class for beginners, only for 2 weeks during the summer holiday. When Elizabeth speaks, she speaks beautifully. Her pronunciation is very good, and she is fluent. My teacher was very happy and said, Elizabeth, your school in Italy must be very good. Elizabeth said, I don't go to any school. I learn English at home. I use techniques I learned from you. I do a lot of reading, shadowing, and thinking aloud. I try to think more in English than in Italian. This is how I work on my English. The 2 weeks I spent in your class last summer helped me a lot. You showed me the way. I know how to work on my English every day. This is why I wanted to join your class again. 1 year ago, I was a beginner, and now I can speak English. I want to learn from you again. My teacher was very happy to hear this. She praised Elizabeth for her hard work. This was all very interesting for me. I already knew about reading and the shadowing technique. But Elizabeth also mentioned thinking aloud. I didn't know what it was, so I asked our teacher, what is thinking aloud? I asked. Our teacher replied, it is a very effective technique. You need to have a strong motivation to learn English to benefit from it. For some people, this technique seems a little crazy. But when you start to think aloud, your English can improve very fast. I said. I have a strong motivation. I don't care if the technique is crazy. If it helps, I want to learn it. Can you teach us? Okay, it is actually very simple. You think in your native language all day, every day. That is normal. Now, you can start to think in English. And when you start to think in English, you can think aloud. You simply say out loud what you are thinking. That's all. It is very simple. Why is it so effective? I asked. Our teacher suggested, maybe you can ask Elizabeth. She uses this technique. Perhaps she can tell you more. Our teacher asked Elizabeth if she could share her experience. Elizabeth was happy to. She said, when I started with this technique, it wasn't easy. I began with very simple sentences. For example, I can speak English. It is good that I can speak English. I want to be better. I need to practice every day. I don't know many words, but I can use these words. I can say my ideas with these words. I can do this. This is great. The sentences were really simple. But at the beginning, I had a problem. My thinking in Italian was long and complicated. I couldn't say the same thing in English. I needed to find a simpler way to think in English. Thinking in simple English was the hardest part. But after some time, thinking in English became normal for me. Then something interesting happened. I met a man from Australia. He was on holiday in Italy. I was still a beginner, but we started speaking English. I could see that I was able to speak with him without problems. My sentences were simple and short, but I could speak. I didn't translate in my head from Italian to English. After that meeting, I started using thinking aloud more. This technique helped me a lot with my speaking. I still use it every day. It is really a very effective technique. Our teacher thanked Elizabeth for sharing her experience. I wanted to use this technique too because I also want to get better at speaking. When you want to speak English fluently, think aloud. I want to give you an extra advice. When you want to learn English, read, listen, think, and speak. Do each activity for 40 minutes every day. You can read, listen, and shadow using our basic English stories.